then the mornings were typically very similar.
More workshops, more warm-ups.
Yeah, more vocal stuff. And then from now on, we kind of spend the latter part of the mornings working on the songs that we had learned ready for the performance.
Yeah, up to this point, these are all songs that we've written through the week, so that's quite good, isn't it?
It was really nice to you can already see this sort of format coming together and utilising songs that we've done. So before we went away, we were all just chatting on email. Dan sent across Sospenfach, and the email actually quoted, in the very unlikely event that we might have to sing a traditional Welsh song, can we all learn this, please?
Yeah.
And then the unlikely event was actually really likely.
Yeah. The unlikely event occurred.
Yeah, and we ended up singing Sospenfach.
Yeah.
Well, eventually to pretty much 10% of the island of Procida.
And I learned that Laurence here is an amazing male voice choir singer. You just come out of your shell.
It's my secret.
Yeah. Little hidden gem within his soul. And he loves Wales.
I do now. I always have done, but again, I've definitely found a new sense of pride.
I think Dan is our driving Welsh force, and he's given us a new love for the Welsh language as both being non-Welsh speakers.
100%.
I think we've both said that we want to learn Welsh, don't we, from this experience?
Yes, and I've written that in my feedback, and it's definitely something I will look into.
Yeah, so that's a massive... 2 more Welsh speakers in Wales.
So then the 6 different countries performed their traditional songs in front of each other, which was for a bigger song where we would basically make a medley of all the traditional songs. So we all had to learn the songs and then put them together in an order that worked.
Yeah, that was hard as well. I think Carlos did a great job there.
Yeah, he was trying to find similarities in like the chord progressions and the rhythms, and he'd kind of put them together.
Yeah, it was not an easy task moving from a Polish waltz into like
Georgian 7/4 rhythm. It was really I loved that part. I was really inspired by some of the songs.
It was one of the most interesting parts of the week because some of the... I think what I found struck me as interesting is a bit like I've heard people talk about going to South America and you have kids on the streets playing like rhythms that grade 8 and beyond percussionists here couldn't dream of playing. It's like these rhythms that are just so complex, but they're just part of their makeup.
Yeah.
And was especially, I think maybe it was the Serbian song, Mad Time.
Yeah, no, I think it was the Georgian. I think it was like 7. It was either 7 or 9/4. I can't remember.
Ingrained.
Yeah.
It was like...
Well, the guy who played the hand drum for it wasn't even really a drummer.
No.
And he played that rhythm and sang like it was like nothing. It was like do 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 do. So we spent a lot of the rest of the week, because that was probably a good 15 minutes of the final concert.
Yeah.
So that took up a lot of our rehearsal time, putting those songs together.
And we opened up the show with that, didn't we?
Yes.
We moved up to the church then later that day, and we continued that and continued running that with the community. Community members joined in with kind of percussion instruments.
The afternoons became very much about rehearsals.
Oh yeah, I'd say from day 4 onwards they became rehearsal afternoons and just getting the structure of the show together.
It was learning the songs, remembering the songs, putting the structure together, and then I would say half the group were instrumentalists, and then there was half the group that were kind of more dedicated to dealing with the community and going around and speaking and just helping and moving people around when they needed to be.
Which was 100% as important as being a drummer.
Yes.
Because our intrinsic point here was involved in the community, and people were kind of conducting the band members, weren't they? Yeah,
like there were certain parts, like there was this really cool section in one of the songs where we laid out these hoops, and a hoop represented a different note on a scale, and then we get different members of the community to walk on the hoops, and all the instruments would change note as they stepped into a certain hoop.
That was the Numbers song, wasn't it? Yeah, that was really great, and just such a great demonstration of like you've just made reading music a physical thing, 3D, real life. And it was really cool to interactive, see that. And you've got the community quite literally writing the music in front of you.
Yeah. During one of the songs that we made when we were split into 6 groups, one of the groups did this like sit down, like hand clap, hand on knee, it's like a childhood game. And that became a big part of the project, where each member of the group would pick a member of the community and do that as part of the performance. So it was really cool to see all these little things being incorporated into the final performance.
Yeah.
So then day 5 was pretty much a day of just rehearsals, morning and afternoon, just running the show front to back.
concert day.
Yeah.
So
we had the morning to ourselves. We didn't have to go to the morning church.
Which was amazing, because I think that was the first kind of block of downtime all week, because it'd been so intense and so long days, and any downtime we did have was kind of so, right, quick, we need to leave now and head somewhere else. So that was very welcomed, wasn't it?
It was nice just, to sort of have a bit of a leisurely morning, to stay in bed for a bit longer.
Unfortunately, I did get locked in the flat and then stung by a jellyfish.
Yeah, well, so we both had a jellyfish incident, although Bella's was far worse than mine.
Yeah, just touched on the jellyfish. So there were a few jellyfish near the shore of this beautiful beach that we were near, and looked fine. They looked small ones, didn't think, they could do much damage. Well, you and I were in that sea, weren't we? And I got attacked.
Yeah.
It's the right word, because it was an attack by a big jellyfish. Yeah.
And it was bad.
It was bad.
It looked bad.
It was bad. Luckily, there was a local guy that we'd met who lived on a boat and gave us a bit of a hand. So yeah, we had a lot of interaction with local people on the island who weren't involved with our project as well.
From what I could gather, we were a bit of a talk of the island, and people knew we were there, people knew what we were doing, and we did have a few socials where we'd all go out for a drink together and chat to just people from the island or people who were holidaying.
I think you went in a shop, didn't you? And shows how small the island was.
But this is the story is I locked Bella in because I didn't realise she was there. And then I got the call being like, I'm locked in, you have to come back. So I left the group, and on the way back went to get Bella some food, and the woman in the shop knew who Bella was somehow. And because she said, why are you here, what are you doing? And I said, we'll put on a concert. She went, with Bella. I was like, yes, with Bella.
Who's from Wales, who
yeah.
I'm here with.
I was gobsmacked because I thought I'd been with Bella pretty much the whole time, and I had never set foot in the shop before.
That was funny. Anyway, you came back with some nice goodies, some arancini.
Some
nice
very Italian goods.
Yeah, which energised me for
the show.
The show. So we headed down to a different part of town, which was the main marina. So it's where we arrived on day one. So we hadn't been back there the whole week, and very different to the other parts of the island, actually.
We didn't know what sort of spectacle the show would be, and we kind of arrived, and it was far larger production than I ever expected it to be.
Massive. The start of the concert began at the top of a little hill.
Yeah, so we basically took everyone who had been involved so far. So you had all the people who had come especially for the project and the local communities, and we all marched up this little sort of touristy side street, formed a circle, and started singing one of the songs that we had learnt.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like a chant. It was just one of the ones that Livia did, where she split the circle into 5 segments, and each segment had a different melody to sing.
It was like crossover, rounds, I suppose.
Once everyone knew what they were doing and everyone was comfortable, then we marched down, sort of drummed up interest as we were walking down.
Yeah, and we were loud, and people, I think, then started following us to the stage.
It must look kind of cool from an outside perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
We marched onto stage and straight into Sospen Var.
Yeah, we kicked the show off.
Yeah.
In Welsh. It was actually quite nerve-wracking.
It was, and there was this really weird moment where everyone was still singing, and because we were the first ones to sing, me, Bella and Dan were just kind of left there dancing in front of everyone for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Very interesting, yeah. It's big pressure on us to kick it off with My Bis Marianne.
There's a little sample of...
Argas, wedi Scrabble.
Johnny Bar.
Oh, there it is. Larry, the male voice choir.
It's kicked off for that, and then, like I said, we did all the traditional songs for the first part of the concert, and then just powered through the set we'd learnt.
Yeah. So, the songs we performed, actually, 7 songs aside from the traditional songs. It was quite a long gig, wasn't it?
It was. It was about an hour.
Yeah. So, just to talk through the songs briefly. So, we kicked off with a numbers song. We'd had numbers picked from between 1 and 4, and we did different rhythms, didn't we? So we got to a section of the song where it was 3, 1, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Do you want to demonstrate?
So what was it? 3, 1, 3, 4. So
yeah.
It was 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that was the section within it, and that was a nice little minor groove. It was kind of a bit like Money Too Tight to Mention, the Simply Red song. That was on my notes. Then we moved swiftly on to the funky tune, which you were on drums for.
As mentioned before, this came from my group when we split into the groups of 6, and it was kind of this funky little number, which again, because I was in the group that wrote it, I was allowed. Is that the right word?
Yeah. There was such a desire within the group for people to play drums. So
there were 3 drummers in the group, and Carlos, I think he realised that the drummers were itching to get behind the kit, so we all had our chance, and this was mine.
I think on one of the mornings I just said, I played bass. I haven't mentioned that. I played bass on the concert. Well, I think all of these songs. And one day I just said, come on, let's have a little jam.
Yeah.
So showed them what you were made of.
No, it was good. It was nice. And again, just to play in that environment, to be outside, there was lots of people watching.
Yeah.
It was a really cool experience.
It was amazing. And I'm really glad that we had that chance to play together.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a shame.
Which was the first time we've ever actually played together.
Yeah. Live on TV in Italy.
Yeah.
Then we had a couple more songs, and then I think finishing off with our 2 favourites, we had the Procida and Yemeke song. So the Procida song was the one where
the first one we wrote on that first afternoon in the church.
So it was really interesting as well how the lyrics came together with that, because in the church we took members of the community outside and asked them via a translator. We said, name your favourite place, your favourite thing to do.
So it's a place, a name, and an activity.
Yeah.
And then you put them together to create lyrics. And it's actually a workshop idea that I've used in a CMW setting.
Yeah. So the main leader, Carlos, asked us if we had any kind of lyric writing tools up our sleeves. And this is what we brought to the table.
Yeah. And it worked really well in that setting because they all talked about people, places and things to do on the island.
So initially we had that in Italian, we had it translated for us.
Yeah.
And then we made verses basically from the content from, I think it was probably 6 members of the community. And that was also with our friend Miguel. And
it became a bit of a monologue for him.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
Well, his acting skills definitely came out in full force.
Yeah.
Because it was great.
It was really perfect, very dramatic. I think we were all fully feeling like we belonged on the island that day, singing our Procida song and feeling very proud to be there. And then we finished off with Yemeke. I didn't play bass on this one, I actually played guitar on this, and this was the song we started with our community member Frederica and became a kind of real anthem towards the end. I think it was a bit of a disaster on my way up to playing guitar when somebody knocked the amp over.
I missed all that.
Yeah, it was a bit stressful. But apart from that, live on TV, but who doesn't love a bit of drama?
But it had a very big finish with the people chanting Yemeke.
Yeah.
And
one of the guys from Italy was kind of acting as a call and response leader. So we kind of, he would kick off with a way of singing.
A question.
Yeah, the question, and we'd kind of respond with a different melody. So yeah, really interesting. And again, bringing different time signatures in there with that. So getting people to engage with quite complex stuff who not necessarily would have ever experienced these kind of musical things.
100%. Even like I'm fully immersed in the music world, and I was learning some really cool rhythms that I've never learned before.
Yeah.
It was great. So that was the concert done.
That was the concert done.
Yeah, and then there was a very, very long speech by the island president.
Yeah. Was it
the mayor?
The mayor, yeah. Very long, and in Italian, I think long speeches are hard to deal with anyway, but when you can't understand a word.
And remaining on stage.
Yeah, we all had to stand in our positions. That was quite funny, but even though we couldn't understand him, we could see that quite clearly this was a huge deal for the island, and he was very appreciative of our work.
But then this shows how compact this project was for a lot of people. We kind of said a lot of our goodbyes straight away.
Yeah.
From the show finished and people had a ferry.
It was super emotional, I'd say, actually.
Yeah.
Because it's really intense bonds you make over a sort of very short period of time, and all of a sudden it's like it's all over, bang, and the adrenaline of the concert, and then the goodbyes.
I definitely feel like the 6th day, which we were on, was definitely for me the day that I felt I'd actually really
learned everyone's names.
And kind of got over that initial barrier.
Yeah.
And we were
really comfortable.
Yeah.
Could have done another week of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Definitely.
I know the concert was kind of a secondary thing because primarily we were there to work with the local communities, and I feel like we achieved that and some. So
our final day was a day of travel, wasn't it?
Yes. So we were straight up in the morning, straight on the ferry.
back to Naples, we actually headed to Naples this time, not to the...
Yeah, we changed
that's
ferries.
the place we left from.
Straight onto a train.
Straight to Rome. Roamed around Rome. Quite literally did Rome in a day.
Yeah.
I think I ticked off every main.
Because they say Rome wasn't built in a day, but you can see it all in a day.
You can. And then that marked the end of our beautiful trip. We headed back to the UK. Very tired by the end of the day, but I think all very sad that it was over and coming away with massive...
Memories. Massive memories.
So, finally, Laurence, just to conclude our little podcast, 2 very important questions.
So, Bella, what was your favourite part of the trip?
Well, I think I would say that I have a few big memories, big favourites, but the top ones must be sharing our Welsh song, our traditional song. That was a big deal, I think, the cultural exchange. But I think the biggest highlight was that big concert, turning up on that marina with the camera crew, the big PA, and suddenly realising how much of a big deal this was for the island. And just being proud, I suppose, of being part of it, reaping the fruits of our labour from the week, enjoyable labour, not laborious labour. And yeah, connecting with the members of the community. The language barriers were broken down and we made some really beautiful connections. And what about you? What was your favourite part of the trip?
This is going to sound probably very sentimental, but one of the highlights for me was just spending time with the Welsh team.
Oh,
it was nice because, we all kind of knew each other, but we hadn't spent much time together, and it was really nice just to get to know each other on that level.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of the time discussing how we feel about community music. So we would kind of do the morning sessions, go hang out, do the afternoon sessions, go hang out, and it sparked so much good conversation about do's and don'ts and our practices and what we do and what the future for music is, or community music, and actually how good Wales is at community music.
We're lucky, actually, I think.
Yeah, I think went into this not apprehensive, but maybe thinking that there would be people with far more knowledge in the sector, and I actually came away thinking that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And that CMW is a very forward-thinking company and a leader in the game.
Absolutely.
It was also amazing to meet so many different people from different countries and just having the Italian experience.
Yeah.
Having pizza, pasta, little dips in the med when we got a chance.
Yeah, I think I want to move there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was it's a lovely island, and it was just a great week.
Yeah, I think also the experience for us as leaders for CMW can only make us stronger moving forward with work we do together.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the bonds made, you kind of make like years worth of friendship during a week because it's such an intense amount of time together. We had the most amazing time and very grateful to be part of the project.
When's the next one?
Yeah, we can't wait. Get us on the plane. So yeah, thank you very much to Taith. Thank you very much to Community Music Wales. And over and out.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.